Hello everyone. I never thought that I would get to this point, but this is my 100th video on my YouTube channel, Northern Vinyl Guy. What do I have in store? Well, stay tuned and we'll see you on the flip side. Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming at you with another video. And as I noted, this is my 100th video. I think YouTube considers shorts a video as well, so if that's the case, I think I've got like 4 or 5 shorts out there. So I was trying to toy with a whole pile of different ideas as to what I could do for my 100th video. Some of the ideas that were floating around my mind included, show my 100th album that I have according to Discogs. Well, the issue with that idea is that back when I did my 50th subscriber video, the objective was to get me to 100 subscribers. So I already did that idea. It's already been done. Not fresh enough. And then I was like, well, what if I did an idea like show bands and songs and song lyrics that have the number 100 in them? Well, unfortunately, that's too generic, and I've already covered that one as well. Now, typically, I know that everybody is almost challenged or threaded out on the VC, but you know what? They're always fun to do, and for my 100th video, I thought, hey, why not bring out a vinyl community challenge? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one the Vinyl Community Awareness Challenge. Now, over the years, many musicians have incorporated things that are near and dear to them in their lyrics, or they've even come out straightforward and said it in the media that they might disagree with something, say, socially or environmentally, or even with animal active and awarenessness. Now, this goes as far as even in the death metal community. There is a band called Cattle Decapitation, and to my understanding, they are vegans, and they advocate for, environmental and animal rights awareness. So these are just some of the causes that, through this thread, I would like you to try to challenge yourself to come up with as part of the thread. So how is it going to work? Well, let's check it out right now. What I would like you to do is to show, say, 5 to 10 albums you have in your collection that have band members that maybe have brought some things to your awareness that are important to you, or some things that you would like to bring to the awareness of others in the vinyl community. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one topic that I think is very relevant in our world today, and that is the concept of mental health and mental health awareness. Initially, I thought that April was Mental Health Awareness Month, but that is the month of May. So to bring some awareness and support towards the mental health awareness that is all around us, I would like to show the band Pink Floyd, and I'll show the album The Wall, which has the track Comfortably Numb on it. Now, Comfortably Numb, you could look at that song in many different ways. You could look at it as a drug-induced kind of a thing, and somebody is relying on that to get them through their problems and their mental health issues. In the case of Pink Floyd themselves, David Gilmour came out and kind of said that that was the song that pretty much triggered the dissolution or the, dissolved relationship between him and Roger Waters. And as we know, David Gilmour would leave the band shortly thereafter in the, early 1980s, and they wouldn't kind of come around to their disagreements until later. So the idea of emotional wellness or emotional well-being. And of course, one could also look at Comfortably Numb and say that it was almost an homage to Syd Barrett, who had all kinds of mental health issues as an early on member of the band. So yeah, I think that this is definitely something that is important, is to discuss mental health and mental health awareness. And in fact, I was recently reading some articles through billboard.com, and I mean, musicians as far as Bruce Springsteen, Ariana Grande with mental health issues and, say, eating disorders and things of that nature. We have, Billie Eilish has brought this up in the media as of recent. So mental health and mental health awareness is something that I would like to advocate for, and it is found in all kinds of music lyrics. So what can you come up with if you'd like to show something like that? So that would be one example of an album that you could discuss as part of this thread or challenge. Now, another way that we could look at it is definitely some social issues, and I've mentioned this on my channel before. If you haven't watched my deep dive into Bruce Hornsby and the Range, this is the album The Way It Is. I find that title track, The Way It is definitely worth a social advocacy look at, and I think that that's what Bruce Hornsby was going for when he made this album, was to look at all kinds of different awareness things within his lyrics. And The Way It Is, it's definitely a song about some serious social issues that are going on in our world today. This is not, a song that has lost its meaning by any means, even though this was made in the mid 1980s. The Way It is about things like homelessness, the color barrier in our society, and a whole whack load of other things. If you are looking for social awareness as a whole, check out some other Bruce Hornsby and the Range albums. He touches base on all kinds of different things from a social, environmental, and political stance. So check that out. Bruce Hornsby and the Range, another way that you could make yourself aware in the VC. All right. Well, what about something that is a little bit of or at least has been historically, a definite taboo subject, and that is advocacy and awareness within the LGBTQ rights and, lifestyle issues. We could see this in Frankie Goes to Hollywood and their album Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. The song Relax was banned on BBC Radio, even though it was bringing awareness to the concept of the LGBTQ community and homosexuality, and the lifestyle itself. Maybe not for everyone. I mean, if that is, if you're a religious person or whatever it is, and you don't necessarily agree, then yeah, that's going to trigger you. But I think that is part of what music is all about. It is to break those barriers, to bring awareness to the forefront, of different ways of life. If we look at different cultural music and cultural ways of life, it's all going to be there in the lyrics, and I think that's part of the beauty of this subject. So yeah, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. This is I like the pink label on this one. Very, very cool stuff here. But yeah, bringing awareness to the forefront through lyrics. Now, this one may, be touchy for some people, and that is definitely political and, military awareness. And Bruce Springsteen and Born in the USA. I mean, everybody thought that it was this patriotic song, but really at the end of the day, it brings awareness to what was going on during the Vietnam War and some of the things that soldiers were coming back. We know that after World War I and World War II and Vietnam, soldiers were coming back with all kinds of trauma, PTSD, homelessness, life on the streets. Those are the types of things that were brought up in, Born in the USA. And as I mentioned earlier, Bruce Springsteen has even come out and stated in recent years that he has suffered with his own social issues, whether it's mental health and other things like that. So musicians bringing awareness to the forefront. This one on Columbia Records. I know for a fact that the metal band Five Finger Death Punch, when we talk about this particular topic, is well into the bringing military awareness to the forefront in their lyrics. If you haven't checked out the video Wrong Side of Heaven, I would definitely check that out. I'm not sure how accurate the statistics in that video are to this day, but I've heard that the statistics in there continue to rise. So definitely check that out from a military perspective. and you might get a definitely new awareness to that. And there's all kinds of reaction videos all over YouTube with that particular video. Now, another topic that gets people, I would say, not necessarily riled up, but there's definitely, since the 1950s, a lot of musicians have been bringing up the idea of environmental awareness. And, you know, Joni Mitchell did it best with Big Yellow Taxi. You know, you pave paradise and put up a parking lot. So the idea that, you know, you're building shopping malls and you're building highways and you're ruining the environment, and you know, you're taking away stuff, you're just putting parking lots there. If we look at a lot of places in North America now, whether it's Canada and the United States, there are a lot of abandoned shopping malls with online learning. There's all kinds of abandoned buildings and things like that. And I think, you know, that Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi was kind of an early warning set of lyrics about these things to bring awareness about the environment and things of that nature. So, you know, environmental awareness is another one of these things that you could bring up in your challenge video if you would like. Now, finally, kind of a weird tailing off, if we're going from Joni Mitchell to, say, Tool. And this one here, I mean, this album cover is quite dark. It's quite scary. But this is a personal one for me, a personal awareness. So back when this album was made, I was going through all kinds of trying times. I had a friend that was kind of using his religious beliefs and values for the negative. And so I used this album to make myself aware of, maybe not in the most positive of ways, but that the world is not the nicest place that is out there. And I used it as a way to get through some trying times as a teenager in the mid to late 1990s. As I mentioned, I had a friend that just was not a positive influence in my life at that point, trying to pressure me into things. And so I utilized bands like Tool and Korn and stuff to release that anger out of my life at that time. So it was more of a mental health and awareness thing for me. So with that in mind, this is the challenge for all you VC members. I would like you to just come up with a video in which you are bringing awareness to the masses through music. You know, what are some song lyrics that you found powerful, that brought some kind of awareness to the world? And of course, we all know that there are different events that have brought awareness to the world through the music industry, whether it was Live Aid or even things like Woodstock and stuff like that. Things were brought up through that made people aware of what's going on in the world. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want this to be a threat or a challenge in which it turns into just a big negative, you know, wallow in self-pity type thing. What I'd like to do is just to make people aware through lyrics of different things that go on in our world, whether it's for the positive, whether it's for the negative, whether it's to try to make change. As we know, the world is kind of all over the place right now, and wouldn't it be nice if we could try to change the world to make it a better place to be? And what a better place to do this than through music. So, as always, if you are new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you leave me a thumbs up, and that you do subscribe to my channel, and that you leave some comments down in the section below. And if you are a continued viewer to my channel, right? I mean, this is my 100th video. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for your support, and without you all keeping me active in the VC and making me not just aware of what's going on in the world today, but making me aware of different bands and new musicians and things of that nature that I don't have in my collection that I can listen to. Music is twofold. You know, I'm all for listening to the old songs that I listened to when I was a kid, but I'm also actively looking for new bands and musicians to add to my collection. And what a way to do it than through the VC. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you're all willing to try this challenge. You know, link me to your videos, leave me a mention. And yeah, until next time, enjoy and take care, everyone.